Hello everybody, my name is Snipiness Fun, and welcome you all back to the return. Finally me doing the return after taking about like a month and a half or so off break of the Smash Brothers Ultimate Newcomer series of videos. We are on character number 118, as I mentioned back when I did the update video about Joker being announced and everything, that he was on my list. I had to cut him out because I never got around to him. And, well before that, when I ended on 117 last time with Sans from, Undertale, or whatever. That my next character was going to be Riley Miller from Valkyria Chronicles series from Valkyria Chronicles 4. Now, this, as I mentioned in my last update video, the series now is going to be me talking about the final 33 characters, my 150 characters, newcomer ideas I want to do. And I took characters out. I told about characters from Octopath Traveler, various Fire Emblem characters, and various Nintendo third-party characters, retro and whatnot. I just decided to axe because they were either assist trophies, they were some sort of somewhere in the game, like stage hazards, Pokeballs, or whatever, and I cut them out. And then I rearranged my list, and now the 33, I'm still working on the last, 10, I think. But I pretty much got at least more than half of these 33 picked out, at least around half, a little more than half. But like I said, we now know, according to Reggie at the Game Awards when Joker was announced, and this what I took into mind when I picked characters still to put in there, people are split off on the opinion of what he actually meant. Because some I see online, some people think he meant new franchises in general for Smash Bros. But also what he specifically said at the Game Awards was new characters in general, which makes sense because all returning veterans are in the game now. They brought back everyone from Melee and Brawl, and everyone's back. So all new DLC would be newcomers. I looked at it both ways. I'm looking at franchises that are not in Smash Bros. Yet from Nintendo and third parties. I'm also looking at just new characters in general, even from series that are already represented, like Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, and whatnot. That's how I basically did this. So I'm looking at it both ways. I don't know which way is true, which way is wrong. What people are saying this, but then it sounds like Reggie said this. I'm in the fine line middle and talking about both ideas. As I mentioned in my update video, from now on, it's not changing the list necessarily, except for how the percentages work. Because now I'm looking at how much percentage of chance a character could have being, DLC instead of being in the base game, and possibly or DLC. Like the same thing. Why does a character make sense being in Smash Brothers? Moveset ideas and percentage chance I can see him getting in as part of the DLC. Now, with that being said, and me spending about 3 minutes talking about that, let's get started on 118 on the road to the final 33 of 150 Smash Bros. Newcomer ideas. Riley Miller from Valkyria Chronicles 4. Now, why does I already did what's his name? Welkin Gunther from the original Valkyria Chronicles X amount of characters ago. I forgot when I did the video on him. He was probably 20, 30 some odd characters ago. And I talked about his moveset ideas and integrating the other soldiers and integrating the weaponry of the games, even if his class type didn't specifically use those, and so on and so forth. And I'm kind of doing the same thing for her, and I wanted to represent her because I wanted to kind of represent the newest game. I represented the original one, and now I'm talking about a character from the newest one. But why does Valkyria Chronicles deserve to be in Smash Bros.? Valkyria Chronicles has been a Sega franchise since about, the first one came out I think around 2008-ish, 8-ish, 9-ish. And it's been a pretty popular franchise from them, which now does have roots on Nintendo. Valkyria Chronicles 1 was ported to the Switch. Valkyria Chronicles 4 was released on the Switch as well as the other systems. It is a multi-console release, multi-plat release game. So now Nintendo has two entries from that franchise, and the series has been around for about 10 years now, and it's a pretty popular tactical strategy RPG type game series from Sega. It's in the same vein as maybe like a Streets of Rage, or a Knights, or Sakura Wars, or anything else under Sonic, and Yakuza and everything. It is a popular franchise from Sega. Nintendo has a good relationship with Sega. 2 games are now on the system, one which is the newest one which is the original being ported to it. And and in terms of representing the newest game and advertising the newest game, instead of, if they did not want to go for, Welkin Gunther or someone from Valkyria Chronicles 1, or even 2 or 3, or Valkyria Profile or whatever, and they wanted to go for the newest one, she's one of the main characters from it. I know she's not the main character. There's a main male character, but it can go with either or because she's like the main female character, one of the main two characters. Just like in the original, there was two main characters, a male and female character, and Welcome Gunther was the original. Like I said, it's one of Sega's biggest franchises now underneath Yakuza and Sonic and whatnot. And the series is now getting a history on Nintendo. Like I said, I mentioned those two games, but you think they're going to stop with that? I recall both games were well received on Nintendo. I think they're both selling pretty well on the Switch. So when Valkyria Chronicles 5 comes around, whether it's on the Switch or the next Nintendo system, it's probably going to be a series Nintendo's going to start getting. Like how they just barely were getting Disgaea for a little while, and now we got Disgaea 5, and then probably they're porting probably 2 and 3 eventually at some point, or 4, and then when Disgaea 6 and whatnot comes out, I'm sure the Nintendo Switch or the next Nintendo system, whatever comes out, will probably be considered. So it's like one of those franchises that barely starts out on Nintendo and then grows, like Monster Hunter, Disgaea, various third-party franchises that were once on Nintendo and then they're coming back now, or were never on Nintendo, or now are starting. So Valkyria Chronicles is getting to be one of Sega's biggest franchises. There's 2 games currently on Nintendo. It's one of their biggest selling franchises underneath Yakuza and Sonic, and it's fairly popular and has history, and it's growing history on Nintendo, and it represents a new game. It's advertising, it's marketing, and she's one of the main characters. So it represents why I think the series should be represented and why I think it should be her representing it. Moveset ideas. Now, I haven't actually really put any time into the game yet, even though I've owned it since it came out. But for a short period of time there, I was busy with work and everything, so I never got to really get a chance to play it, besides seeing maybe a little bit and then seeing a lot of it online, like YouTube videos and whatnot, with, when the game was being released, like leading up to it, like advertisements and whatnot. So I do a little bit of research on her because I'm not super fully familiar with the character, but she's of a class type as Grenader, which is unique to Valkyria Chronicles 4. So I want to represent that as her because that's something that she can straight up represent. It represents her, and it represents specifically Valkyria Chronicles 4, given that it's an exclusive class type to that game. So her movesets can be revolved around the Grenader, which basically means, you can see on her back, it's like a giant grenade launcher gun type weapon. So she's not going to be the fastest character. She's going to be fairly slow to balance her out because she can cause high amounts of damage. But if she's super fast and does that, that makes her OP. So I really would rather it be semi-slow, not a Ganondorf Bowser type slow, but slower than, say, the fast characters. Like, she's probably not middle range. She's definitely not fast. She's nowhere here. She's not slow. She's probably in this range somewhere. A slower character that can pack a wallop when she hits opponents, kind of thing. And her smash attacks will be basically you're taking her giant weapon and just smacking you with it. She doesn't really specifically use that in the game, because it's obviously a weaponry-based game. It's based off a fantasy World War II type of thing. But she has to have some sort of smash attack, some sort of melee-based attack. So she'll take it off and she'll ram it, ram you in the gut or smack you upside the head. And then I'm assuming she'll have some sort of hand-to-hand combat. So she'll have to have some sort of punches and kicks. But I'd focus her smash attacks mostly on using her big giant grenade launcher thing and smacking you with it, which is semi-slow. But she could do a few small attacks. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage. But it could be useful for getting a small amount of combo, knock your opponent down, then take out, smack him, then shoot him with the grenade launcher. Maybe so basically a little bit of smacking opponents, because she does that a lot in the game. Her character is like a yandere, extreme, crazy psycho lady, and she can smack her opponents and do some punches and kicks, so she knows a little bit of hand-to-hand combat in case she's up close range. At least for Smash Bros. It makes sense. And then smacking you with her weapon and beating you up with it. Her special attacks are where she does the actual grenade launcher-esque weapon that she has. So she'll shoot them. I'm sure you can shoot different ranges. You could charge it up, shoot it far distance, shoot it short distance, medium distance. They explode. They'll be ones that explode sooner, ones that take a little time. So it's like a timing, strategic-based explosion type of thing. She has a little pistol as well, which will be used for smaller amounts of range damage. Not major range damage, but small amounts. Like she can use that. It'll be a lot quicker than the grenade launcher, but it does a lot less damage. But it's enough for you to be able to at least attack opponents in a quicker fashion. And she has a mortar, which it also could be used for attacks, of which the pistol and the mortar aren't specifically used in Valkyria Chronicles 4, but they're on her characters. They're items that she has on her, so why not make them useful in Smash Brothers and make them exclusive for her to use them in Smash Brothers? And it adds to her moveset, makes her more different than slow walking, grenade launcher, smacking lady, warrior, soldier person. So yeah, there you go. So her smash attacks would be punching and kicking opponents, punching and kicking, smacking, melee-based attack opponents, getting angry, yandere-esque. or smacking you with the weapon. Special attacks will basically be the grenade launcher weapon and shooting different types of bullets and charge shots and range shots and everything. The pistol and the mortar. As for the final smash, I want to represent the entire team in there, and it kind of, like I mentioned in my last video, cut like the likes of Raz, or Rez, I think his name is, and the sniper girl and the main male character and whatnot, and they're from Squad E. So just like how Shulk has multiple teammates he can summon, or Mega Man summons multiple Mega Men and stuff like that. The attack will be she gets the smash ball, she attacks her opponent, cutscene ensued based, and Squad E comes in and just starts sniping you, shooting you, throwing grenades at you, grenade launcher. They explode, and then she sets up this big giant grenade launcher. They're all being attacked by her opponents, and she shoots the grenade into the middle of any opponent caught in this, and they get blown off the stage. So that's where I'll basically deal with that. And that's it for that category. As for percentage chance, I can see her getting as DLC. It's not really good. I would love to see a Valkyria Chronicles character get in the Smash Brothers, but I don't think with Smash Ultimate that's going to be the case until we see more games on the system. But there's always a potential chance. We're now getting Joker from Persona, and there hasn't been specifically a mainline Persona on Nintendo, but there's been a lot of spin-offs. There's been Shin Megami Tensei games, and Persona 5 is now kind of rumored for the Switch, so it's growing. It's going to be probably getting mainline Persona games as well at some point. Nintendo will be. But Valkyria Chronicles is starting to grow, and it's popular, but I don't think that's... And we're now knowing the DLC is going out its way to kind of be a little bit different, given that we're putting Joker in the DLC. So I'm going to give her a 30% chance. It's not very big. It's not very great to see her or just the Valkyria Chronicles character in general, but the DLC could surprise us and get another Sega franchise character if we do. If it's not, say, another Sonic character, which I'd rather it be some different franchise, and it's not someone like Axel Stone from Streets of Rage, or Sakura from Sakura Wars, or the main dude, Kazuma from Yakuza, I would like it to be Valkyria Chronicles, and you can make a very weapon-based, awesome character moveset that is very different from someone like Snake, and I would love to see her in there, or any character from the series in there. It's a good series, but it's not very likely, but it's there, especially if the series continues to be on Nintendo, with like if they port 2 or 3 to the Switch, or if Valkyria Chronicles 5 comes out and it's on Nintendo, and it starts becoming the mainstay, like how Monster Hunter was. It started becoming mainstay for like 10 some odd years. So yeah, 30%, not very big, but still potentially there. That's it for character number 118, Riley Miller from Valkyria Chronicles 4. Put in the comment section what you guys think. Do you guys like this character? Do you like the games? Would you like to see Valkyria Chronicles represented at all in Smash Brothers one day, whether it's a DLC and Ultimate, or when Smash 6 and whatnot comes around in 8 some odd years, 10 some odd years, 6, 7, 8, 10, whatever some odd years. Put in the comments what you guys think. Do you like the franchise? Do you think it deserves a character? Would be a cool character moveset? Put it down there. What do you guys think of my moveset? What moveset would you give them? That's it. And stay tuned when I do character number 119 and I return to the world of Tekken. I've already talked about Jin Kazama, but I'm going to now talk about his father, the original main character of Tekken, Kazuya Mishima. See y'all